GG's The Mouthful podcast is brought to you by goodgame.tech, the most welcoming gaming community on Facebook. Join the conversation at www.goodgame.tech.
What's up, everyone? This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and this is going to be the real episode 109 of GG's The Mouthful podcast.
Woohoo! And how it goes? GG! We are back.
Yes.
The trio.
The trio
The original cast.
is reunited.
Yes.
You
yes.
bastards
Some of us were missing. I'm sorry.
freaking abandoned me.
Sir, evidently we left you in really good hands because
You're
let
absolutely
me tell you,
Yeah.
I really freaking enjoy when Gunner hosts a podcast or co-hosts a podcast. First of all, last week's podcast had the misconnections, which
Yes.
I always love. I was even thinking of maybe I should do one on my own for this one, but I was like, no, I'll never be able to.
No, it's
No,
never
I don't have the
as
sultry voice.
good.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't.
Will never be as good.
Mr. Doomsday knows what he's doing.
Shout out to Doomsday, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for filling in, Mr. Doomsday. We look forward to the.
He's
to the
joining
next
us
one.
for E3, right?
I hope
He
so.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
I
gonna.
hope
He's
so.
definitely join us.
We need that extra person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We need the guns.
Those voices, of course, guys, that you hear. First off, to my left is Mr. Dream Twister himself,
Hello.
David Santos, and to his left is Miss Krista Montanez, aka Shadow 24/7.
I am back.
Yes,
We're all
they
back.
are back.
We are together.
It's so wonderful to have the team together. Where's my beer?
And not only that.
Son of a bitch! I left
no
my
beer.
over here.
Oh, okay. So we are running. So okay.
No, it's
so we're
okay. You can keep
vamping.
talking. We're
Oh, I thought you had
That
to
is
go
a,
step outside.
part of the show.
No,
I
that
forgot
is a first step.
I forgot to put my
Oh
beer.
man, my beer. How can I? You know what? We're starting over. Fuck this shit.
All right. So let's take it from the top. GG!
GG!
Welcome
I
back,
was gonna
guys.
say,
I'm so
rewind
glad.
noise
Yeah.
happening. Remember that?
Just kidding, guys. If this is your first time listening, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please go to goodgame.tech.
What is
Join
that?
the conversation there. That is our premier Facebook group. Probably the best Facebook group on Facebook.
Oh, that's right. Because you know why? Because it's not full with spam and fake
sure
guys,
is
fake
not.
people.
It's not full of bots.
Exactly. No bots. This is 100% distilled gaming.
That's right. No bots allowed.
Yes.
Leave that shit for the end of the world.
No.
So
The nanobots.
that's right.
The nano machines that control the lalilulelo.
Oh damn. Oh man. They're coming back, huh?
The Patriots.
Uh,
We should mention, well, actually, you guys were here before, but I'm so glad to be back I'm so glad to be back actually, from the Department of Redundancy Department. Casa de Martin.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
so happy to be back here on the stomping grounds of
yes,
the GG
the old
podcast.
studio, the original.
old studio, yes.
Now we just need a
The Asian
real
studio.
studio.
Yes. Now we can, if we can convince one of our wives to let us have one room that we can like soundproof,
put up a green screen.
Put
you know?
exactly.
You know,
oh, you imagine?
I tell you, man.
That
we'll have
would
some
literally
production.
just not only be a podcast, that would be a streaming room.
Oh yeah,
as
that'll
well.
be a video cast.
Listen,
that's what it'll be. Nothing
We
but
are
videos.
open to sponsorship. If any of you guys have friends and people, I mean, we will whore ourselves out. We will do anything.
Wow.
That's the point.
I mean, you would do
Not going to back
anything.
that
I
statement
will
up.
do anything.
Wow, he will do anything,
For
and
the-
I will
For the double G's.
support him in him doing anything.
He'll be the fluffer.
You have our
There you go.
full support.
Yes, whatever it
Give us a
is you
couple
want to
wags.
do. Yeah.
I will never forget that quote.
Oh man, that's
If you
good.
guys don't know what that quote is from, then you're gonna have to pull whichever podcast it was,
Oh,
because I
gosh,
don't
it was a
even
while
remember
ago, yeah, the wangs.
the wag.
Oh my god. All right.
It's not that type of podcast, though.
No,
If
it's
you're
not.
listening to
It's
this
not.
for the first time.
We
jest.
generally speak about games, movies, and TV, and a bunch of other good stuff.
We also try and be appropriate.
We try
Yeah.
to, but
And beer.
It never
beer, yes.
happens. Not when you have alcohol involved.
No, it usually just turns us around. If, like I said, what we normally do is we go into what we have been up to. We enter some news items, and then we finally go into our hot topic of the week. Hot topic of this week is single player dead
Oh, that's right.
or coming to an end. Are we
Yes.
seeing the end of single player?
Are we
But we'll
announcing
leave
it?
that. We'll leave that topic. Or we'll leave our discussion for that towards the end of the show. So let's start with what we always start with, and that is what have we been up to?
Beer.
Miss Shadow, 24/7. I understand you got some culture last week.
Yes.
Tell
The
us
reason
about
why I
this.
wasn't here last week is because I went to see Swan Lake.
And how was it?
I enjoyed it.
Well, first of all, where did you see this at?
No, first off, what is Swan Lake?
A Swan Lake
play.
is
Take us back.
it's a ballet,
Oh, ballet.
Oh, wow. So
Yes.
really culture.
That's really upscale.
and
yeah.
I love the arts, so I can never say no to that.
Nice.
Dude,
Fair enough.
Enough to say,
Enough.
fuck the podcast. I'm going to watch.
Honestly, well,
ballet.
because the arts is not very popular. It's been dying
That's
for
true. It needs
however
support.
long,
yeah.
and
That's right.
it needs the support it can get.
I heard
Yeah.
there was some Monets last week over here.
There was
here.
mention of Monet's, but don't mention it now because my wife's here and she doesn't need to about them. No, just kidding. Monet the painting, guys. Monet the painting. Just kidding.
So I enjoy the arts, and I can never say no. And this ballet was good. And for those who never seen a ballet, it's kind of hard to understand the story because there's no words. It's just ballet.
Expression through dance.
And yes, an expression. And the only way you can understand who the characters are and what's going on is one by clothing. That usually stands out the most on who the main male and female lead and who people are. Like in Swan Lake, it's your typical fairy tale prince falls in love.
Oh, okay.
Yada yada.
Not bad. So where were you watching this or doing this at?
I don't remember. It was at a church. I don't remember the
Oh,
name
okay.
of it.
Nice. That's actually good.
And you can tell like if it was a happy or sad moment by the facial expression, because they will show facial expressions to show what was going on, and I enjoy that. Like they get really into
Really
it,
into it? That's cool.
and the music too. You can
Yeah.
tell when the villain would come in, and when it's happy, it's
Dun,
sad.
dun, dun. Does he
And-
have a mustache he does with?
No. Mostly by costumes.
Oh, okay.
So he
villain
just
would
looks
have
have more dark stuff. Yeah, more sinister, more dark stuff. While the more heroic will have more lighter clothing or look.
Look the part. Yeah. No, that works. That's
And,
cool. Was it long?
Yeah, it was. It was about
enjoyable.
Enjoyable. Yeah. Okay.
it was about 2 hours because it's like
Oh, that's not
an
long,
hour
okay.
and a half for Act 1, like Part 1.
Mhm.
Then you have a 15 to 20-minute intermission, then an hour and a half. Part
Oh,
2.
okay. So yeah, that's like watching football right there. I could do that.
Yeah, exactly like football.
Yeah.
Ballet.
No, I'm
It's
just
like
saying
that.
time frame.
It's
Of course.
it's expression through dancing
But
with a
that's
ball.
if
Yes, exactly.
that's if you guys can actually like handle it, I should say, because
Oh yeah, good. I'd at least like to
again,
think I could.
it's it's dancing. It's not really. There's no talking and music. It can get boring for those who don't like that
Yeah.
stuff.
It was not for. Yeah, I mean, it's an acquired taste. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was good. It was really good. Because this ballet has been going on for it's an old ballet, and it's good.
That's
so
good.
if it's in town or something, or you can see it anywhere, I suggest watching it. Now, gaming wise though,
Oh.
The culture stuff part.
We're done with the culture now. Let's get to the non-cultured segment.
I don't want to bore you too much on ballet.
No, you're fine.
So, again, I like rustic games, and after finishing God of War, I had no idea what to do with myself. So,
I know that
yesterday-
feeling. You will hear when it's my turn.
So yesterday I went back and started playing The Witcher again.
Oh, snappity snap. 3?
You are talking
Yes,
my
3.
language,
So
lady.
one thing I didn't like though is that when I went in, apparently I didn't have a save file for it. Yeah,
Did
I
it
don't.
go
At the
somewhere?
start?
I don't know. I looked into the online storage. It was not there at all.
Oh my
so
god! Oh snap!
I think it was during a time I didn't have PlayStation Plus, so it couldn't save.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
so-
but the online storage.
Mhm. So
that
it
sucks.
wasn't that much of an issue.
Yeah.
Wasn't. I don't even think I was that far in.
Mm-hmm.
So it, and plus, I haven't played that game in so long, so I don't
You might as
mind
well start,
restarting it and relearning
I
it
want to
again.
do the same thing.
I'm not very far in. Honestly, I'm maybe a few minutes in.
Still
and
in
before I-
White Orchard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did get to play a new game today.
A
I
new
was
game.
playing with my brother before I came here, and it's State of Decay 2.
Oh,
you played State of Decay
okay.
too.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's that about?
It's on the
I know
Game
it's
Pass
about,
right
but yeah.
now.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Okay.
zombies. It's about there's zombies. And
Yeah, zombie survival.
yeah.
Nice.
And it's 30
It's like
bucks.
Monster Hunter, but with zombies.
Okay.
It's not like that at all.
I wouldn't give that, description, but okay. Yeah, it's zombie survival. It's not too bad to me.
How's it run? Because I've heard, on the news wires, as they say, that it's a little buggy. Is that true, or is
I
it
haven't
maybe
had
something?
problems yet since I just started, but I've
Okay,
noticed
okay.
when we were playing, my younger brothers had issues.
Okay.
Like he'd get kicked from the game.
Okay.
There was this one little glitched out spot in the loading screen.
Really? Oh,
So he's
okay.
been having issues. I haven't yet. So
But he's
we'll-
played more, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see on that. And I'll update you guys on that. But,
So you got
it's not a bad game. Yeah.
so you guys could have your own save files separate.
Yes.
Okay.
It's separate.
While your games don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it relies on who's being
the gamer
quote
tag.
unquote first player.
Mhm.
Like
Oh.
it'll be under them,
Okay.
and whoever someone else can join you.
So, okay. So you can
Yeah.
join the game of the main person. Does that
Mhm.
help your game?
It can help. Like
Okay.
it helps you scavenge for more stuff.
Okay.
Honestly, I feel like it's a game that seems more appropriate to play with somebody else.
Mm.
Like a lot better because I remember I got swarmed by zombies.
Oh.
And that sucked. Because
And
in
it's
this
permadeath
game,
too, yeah.
Yes, it is permadeath. So I'm like, I don't want to lose my first character. That's not fun.
You have to have the test dummy,
Yes.
right? A certain somebody by the name
And-
of Mr. Santos.
Yeah, and the
talking
worst
about
part
that.
is losing your best character, which I have not done yet.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'd be upset if that
No, I
happened.
can imagine. Sure.
It's not a bad game.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
right? So, I
State
can
of Decay
understand.
2.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
can
a bad
understand
game.
that
It's
it's
not a
a
7 out of 10.
because it's a $30 game and it feels the part.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't
7.5
know it was $30. Okay.
No, yeah, yeah,
I
they
thought it
gave
was
us-
like a full-fledged title. Okay.
No, if it was a full fledged
Microsoft
title,
would like
I'd
to
be
think
like,
it is.
this worth $60? No, it feels the part that's about
Yeah,
30
okay.
or so.
Good stuff. Okay. Awesome.
And that's what I've been doing.
Mr. Santos.
Oh, that's me.
Yes.
Oh, man.
That is
What
you.
have you been up to, sir?
Well, if you must know, I also...
Actually, I don't have to know. We could just skip you.
Oh.
No, just kidding.
I was going to say that I also got myself cultured a little bit.
Oh, excuse me.
I watched a play called
really?
Mamma Mia.
Oh,
And
Actual
it-
play?
Yes.
Nice.
It was
Oh,
a show
okay.
on the cruise. It was
Oh,
one of
that's
the shows
fine,
on the
that's
cruise. Yeah, it was bullshit though.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Why?
It was
Why?
pretty bad. It was because it was about this young girl that she's getting married. She's 21. She's getting married, and she wants to find her dad. So she sends letters to these 3 people that she has narrowed it down. They all come to to her. In the meantime, the mom is freaking out because of the wedding and because of that. It turns out. At the very end, it didn't really matter because she decides not to marry the guy that she was marrying, not because of anything bad, but because that she finds out that it doesn't matter who that was, so we never find out who the dad was. But one of them gets married to her mom, and the other two are like, okay. It's like, it was dumb though. It was not.
So for the record, that is the actual story of it.
It was as terrible as I'm telling it.
I actually seen the musical.
That's what it was. Sorry, that's what it was. The musical.
I seen the musical that had Meryl Streep and a couple, that actually did it.
Watched the
so it's the same exact story. Yeah,
it's the same story. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So that's why people were like, "Oh my god, I gotta get first seats to Mamma Mia." I was like, the fuck? I mean, I went there because everybody was like freaking out, so I made sure that I had my tickets, but I didn't know that it was like this famous thing.
Mamma Mia was a play before it became a movie.
Yeah. Broadway musicals. Yeah.
Broadway musical.
Because it was specifically had the music, and I'm sure they had it there, the ABBA music. So
yeah.
So,
they had all of that was.
If they don't have that, then it's not Mamma Mia.
It was very Mamma Mia, and I mean the actors did what they. I didn't have anything against the acting. I didn't have anything against the acting. It was just not my cup of tea.
I get you.
So did you hold a sign up that said you tried?
No. I held a sign that said 0 out of 10. No.
Did your wife like it?
No, she doesn't like musicals. Actually, yeah, she doesn't like musicals.
I just forgot. Yeah.
I know she would have given it a chance if it was kind of interesting in some way, and also it was long.
Mm-hmm.
It had an intermission. And my wife was like, "Why are we still here? We can just be like." I was like, "Honey, because
this is our chance.
The pool is closed already, or something." Like,
this is our chance to escape.
That's when you go back to drinking.
We already started. It's like we might as well finish this train wreck. See how it all.
I love it.
It was pretty bad, but no. Oh yeah, that's right. I was on a cruise and I enjoyed my week, and thank you guys for holding the fort. That podcast that you guys did was so amazing, so entertaining. I'm still listening to it. I'm at the very end of the spoiler cast of God of War. I can't believe I wasn't there, but man, that game was good. Like I was right there with you guys in spirits. Anyway, what else have I been doing? I just like Shadow very well mentioned. After God of War, I didn't know what to do with my life.
So these things called Valkyries.
I have my.
You can just go get them. I'm just saying.
It was.
But you want another story.
Yes, exactly.
It's like finishing a book and then having to go.
And that story is so heavy. It's so good. It's so heavy that I was like,
I need something just as good.
I need something mindless. It's actually what I said. I was like, I was perusing the Facebook, and one of those ads came up for Dragon's Crown, which is a PS3 game, a Vita game, and now they have the PS4 version called Dragon's Crown Pro, which is the only enhancement that I saw was the 4K graphics, and that's it.
And the fact that they added 3 letters to the
and yeah, exactly, and it was so I bought it. I played it. That game had me very well entertained. Actually, I love that game. I like that game. I shouldn't say it's not gonna be like Game of the Year or anything like that. But I beat it. It was enough, and it was funny because it was funny to see.
Wait, you beat it already?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I had my level 32. I played it a lot.
It's not a very long game.
Yeah, I played it. Wait, yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say I put 20 hours on it. And I was already level 32.
Okay,
I think that the cap is 35, and then if you're playing hard, then the cap is 60, and then if you're playing very hard, the cap is 99. I think that's what that's how it is. But I remember playing that game on PS3 and liking it because I like I like the art, but not some. I like the art, but don't like certain aspect of the art, like the exaggeration of the characters, mainly the female characters. This was obviously super sexualized in some cases.
Because the knight wasn't exaggerated at all.
Oh, no, the guy... no, exactly.
He had like these tiny feet.
But
the sorceress...
I know, you own that game, right?
I do, I played it, yeah.
You played it. Did you own that?
It was on PS3 I played, yeah.
Yeah, how? How did you end up getting that game?
Downloaded it. It was one of the... it was a PS3 downloadable game.
No. I'm not sure. I can't see you spending money on that gas.
No, I mean I spent probably maybe $5-10. It was one of those type of things, and I got pretty far in it, and I don't remember which character I picked, but
well, I picked the most outrageous one, the sorceress.
Of course.
Because, of course.
Yes. I don't like the way they drew her sorceress. But you know what? I want to pick this character.
I want to pick this character because it was... And then I called my wife, honey, you got to see this. This is ridiculous. Check this out. And she was like, oh, my God. Are you kidding me? And I was like, yes. I'm not kidding you. But
you know
yes,
what, though?
You're seeing what you're seeing.
The developer wasn't afraid.
There you go.
That he put that in there.
No.
He's like, nope, yeah.
This is almost borderline hentai.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah. It's just short of it, I guess.
But it was as mindless as I needed it to be. Mm-hmm. It was, super fun. Like I said, I played it to completion. And it was funny because the game, I should describe a little bit of the game. So the game is...
It's a dungeon crawler.
It's a dungeon crawler, but it's a side scroller. It's a side scroller dungeon crawler. So it is 2D art, and it kind of reminds you of, like, it reminded me a lot of Golden Axe and Final Fights and Streets of Rage and those type of beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
But it has the RPG elements of loot, of leveling up and getting better gear and all that.
Wasn't there an aspect of, was it resurrecting characters and they can be part of your squad or something like that?
Yeah, you could. I mean, ideally, the perfect way, which I'm surprised that it opens so late in the game, is you eventually get the option to play online and you play with either your buddies, which your buddies. Nobody's gonna have this game right now. That problem me. But you can play with randos, and it's the same because you don't hear them talk or anything like that. You're just fighting, doing the same goal and whatever. But if you play single play, alone, you have up to 3 more characters that you could decide which ones they are by resurrecting them and then selecting them in the tavern. And then taking them with you on quest. And as you level up, you encounter more. They're piles of bones at first, and then you take those bones to the church, and over there they resurrect them. And then depending on the character you get, you say you get an Amazon, a level 15 Amazon, and you're almost level 16, and you're like, okay, I can use. My level 15 Amazon that I just got could replace the level 7 that I've been playing all this time.
Gotcha.
So and it's very, it's very easy. The game is not difficult. It's like I said.
I remember playing it for a while, and I think I got pretty far into it. And I think it was because it was so mindless. I just it got a little boring. Like I said, it was a perfect time to play it because like I didn't want to put my head into something difficult. I mean, I have been playing. Frostpunk, but that game I take it like in stride. Every now and then I go in.
Too much of it will be like nope.
Yeah, that is. I needed a palate cleanser, and that was an easy.
That works.
That was an easy game to get in and have fun in, and yeah, I had a blast. I also watched Deadpool.
Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
Oh, snapperoos.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's too early to give spoilers or anything like that. I would just say, it's Deadpool. Expect no more and no less. If you like the first one, you'll have a good time with this one. You'll like it.
Awesome.
If you didn't care for the first one, this one with the supposedly higher budget that he had, that I personally, I'm not the greatest at looking at these things, but I didn't feel like it had the bigger budget that they were claiming that this now.
Well, keep in mind,
it still had a very low budget feel to me, or maybe it's because I have already come down from seeing like Avengers and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not fair to do the comparison.
True, correct. Yeah, the budget, it's still an R-rated movie.
It's still an R-rated movie.
So even with a higher budget, there's still a cap on R-rated. They're not gonna go 220 million on a. They're not gonna spend that much money.
No,
that's one. And two, they also have a bigger cast.
Yeah.
So some of that money most likely went to just having more people. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Casting Thanos again. Dude, but it was funny. It was I probably wouldn't necessarily pay, the XL screen, even though I did. But I wouldn't necessarily say
XL,
that
okay.
it. Yeah, you don't need to spend like mad money on the biggest screen or anything like that. But if you have the opportunity, if it's on a Tuesday afternoon and you had the day off, just go ahead.
Yeah,
You'll have a good time with it.
I think I'll do that.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun. I kind of want to see it
Again?
Well, with you, just to see your impression.
Oh, okay.
Not
okay.
necessarily because it was this amazing movie. Because it was not. Again, it's a comedy. It's Deadpool.
Gotcha.
You only need to watch it once.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to pick, I probably lean towards the first one a little bit more.
As being the better one?
Yeah, but honestly, not by much. It's a toss-up at this point.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing. Dragon Crown and Deadpool. It sounded like I had more to say, but
you had a cruise and you did a lot of stuff outside.
Yeah,
of the cruise,
yeah. So I did went.
You did island hopping, right? So it was good stuff.
Yeah, dude, they wouldn't let me. I mean, one of the stops was Puerto Rico, which I was very excited to go back and visit, but I can do anything. I want to take my wife and have had the chance to like maybe go meet family over there or anything like that, but
you didn't have much time.
It was from 7 a.m. Huh?
So you didn't have much time, did you?
No. From 7 a.m. until like 1 p.m.
Yeah.
I have to be back.
Yeah,
it's like that's bullshit. You let me on the other island until like 4, 5, or 6 almost, and there was not much. The other island was St. Martin, which was, or is that?
St. Martin, one of them.
Yeah, which was beautiful, even though it was kind of sad because it was. I mean, you could see the devastation, bro. You could definitely see everywhere you saw there were people working, rebuilding, and it was, it was cool. It was nice to see that, but I also felt a tinge of guilt. This is probably still not going to hold another one,
No, and we're entering the season again.
Yeah, and we're back into there's another
There's
one.
a tropical storm heading its way now.
Yeah. Anyway, you go.
Well, the only thing I've been doing, I'm still playing God of War because I'm still playing all the after up to the story portion.
Have you gone to your house already?
I have not,
you?
And
What?
I don't plan to. I plan to go to my house when I finally hang up the game.
When you hang up
because as we all know, that basically credits roll there. So I'm like, that's fine, and I'm waiting for it. Because I don't want to spoil what I'm doing, but I am trying to complete a lot of these things. I'm actually considering 100%ing this.
I was going to ask you.
Because you don't complete a game until you see the credits roll.
Correct, and I mean, yes, you have some credits rolling at the end of the story portion, but obviously the game still opens up for you to do other stuff. This is not spoilers; it's just stuff in there, and however. There's this thing that say, hey, we should go back to the house, whatever. And Nelson told me to go back to the house, and everybody's like, I have not. I was like, and I'm like, in the spoiler cast, he told me what happened, so I'm already aware of what happens. Yeah. But I'm like, it's okay. I'm gonna wait because I'm like, that'll be the time I say, all right, I'm done with God of War for a while. I actually, believe it or not, I actually started another file. Here's my problem. Okay,
yes, tell us your problem.
My problem is I need a new Game Plus. I can't do it.
I think they will eventually.
I hope so. There was no mentions. They mentioned there's no plans to do it. There's no plan to do anything. No DLC. Nothing
DLC?
at all. No. They have zero plans to do it.
They're
working on
I'm
the
surprised
second
there's a whole area that you never.
That'll be on the second one.
They developer himself. Yeah, he said himself that he instead of just making DLC, why not take that time and make another game?
Yeah, and on top of that, he also said
give that guy a medal.
On top of that, he also said instead of making DLC, let's put what we want to put into this game and put it in the game.
Yeah.
So let your people paying $60, like give them a 60.
What a concept!
I know.
Who would have thought?
No microtransactions, no
DLC,
no half finished game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was almost and this meant absolutely like you notice right from the get go. It means absolutely nothing. The pre-order bonuses.
Oh yeah,
you get the shield. My shield is a different color than your shield, but guess what? It's the same fucking shit. It's just a skin, and it does absolutely nothing. Like you could say, like Sony marketing at some point was like, well, we kind of have to put something.
Yeah.
Let's just make it a different color. Call it something else, and that's it.
That was a waste. They basically wasted their time with it.
Yeah.
So I'm still playing that. I'm still playing Desert Golf on my phone, which I freaking am ridiculously addicted to.
Yeah, I heard about that sickness.
It's by the way, I'm up to a whole 400 and I think it was 79 was the last one.
Of 10,000?
Of possibly 10,000. Yeah. They say possibly. It's somewhere between 10 to 13,000. So I'm like, whatever. Anyway, and then I watched the movie. And I went to the theater yesterday. By the way, I used my movie pass, and let me tell you how this thing is awesome. Okay.
Oh, I'm getting it. I'm officially getting it already.
It's freaking awesome. I have the so I started. I did the $7.99, which is 3 movies a month, right? I figured I don't. You know, what I'm saying, I go to the movies once every 6 months, maybe. You know, so am I suddenly going to go every day? No, I'm not going to do that. So I figured $7.99. That's perfect. I get 3 movies. I'm fine. The movies that I went to yesterday cost me $12. It would have cost $12. Boom. Yeah. So the way it works is you basically go to the theater, you select the time on the app. You have to have the app. You select the time on the app and you check in. But you have to be at the theater. You need your location, everything's on. Once it does that, it'll send you a confirmation saying your ticket has been purchased. Go to either to the kiosk or the person and pay for your ticket. You just basically pay like you would normally, and they send you a card,
with the card,
a MasterCard, and you use that Movie Pass MasterCard to pay for the ticket, and that's it. You're in.
Nice.
And it's like easy.
And you can do that 3 times a month for $7.99. That's
or 30 times a month if you choose the $9.99 option, because that is still available.
Oh,
so,
shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to run it by my wife, because she might say, "Oh, we need to do the $9.99," but in reality,
we're considering doing one for Nick, because he does tend to go out with his friends sometimes.
Yeah,
and it's like, man, if you're gonna go out and see a movie, dude, instead of paying, we pay $8.
Yeah,
I mean, like I said, three movies for us in a month is a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I will probably see Deadpool, but I don't know when, because I don't have time all the time to go see a movie anyway. Right. So even if I only do 2 movies this month, what does it matter? 2 movies at $24, I only pay $8. You know,
Deadpool is the perfect movie to do the movie pass.
Oh, there you go.
And the best part, though, is that if you guys do get it for him, that money that he doesn't have to spend to pay a ticket, he can use that for something else.
You mean that money we don't have to spend? Because that's the real
but any money that he takes with him.
Correct. He could just use that to get his bucket of popcorn. Whatever. Anyway, saw a movie. One of my favorite movies so far this year. Okay.
Oh shit.
A Quiet Place.
Oh, now you saw Quiet Place. You haven't seen it. My wife saw it, right? And
you told me about it.
She told me about. Oh shit!
She didn't tell me about it. You just told me that she was going to see it that one time. We were actually recording in your studio.
Yeah.
And she was leaving.
Yeah, she was leaving. She went to see it. Yeah.
And
she saw it. She loved it.
I absolutely love this movie, dude.
Wow.
It is a surprise. Like I knew he was good.
But hold on. I just thought. Did you say one of your favorite? Okay, no. You say one of your favorite movies. You didn't say your favorite movie, because I was gonna like go with my beer and say, what about Avengers?
Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna go.
Wow.
So
no, please.
It's I won't spoil anything here, obviously. If you've seen the trailer, the beauty of this is how the trailer doesn't give you a lot. And I know, and it's a daring thing. I get it. I get why movies, or rather advertisement companies, why they show certain things. They need to get you to the theater. They're looking like, man, we got to give them something so that they come to the theater. The problem is that they overstep the line and tell you everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's a delicate balance that certain films do, but most of the time they fuck up and just show you everything. Here, they didn't give you a lot. I remember seeing the trailer for the first time, and I'm like, my interest is piqued. However, who knows when else? I may never see it, And then it came out, and of course, people were like, oh, man, this is really good, whatever. And so yesterday, we were like, let's go to movies, whatever, because it was off. And so we went to go check it out. Dude, I came in. First off, throughout this experience in the theater, I'm like gripping the chair, like I'm like tense the whole time. You know what I mean? It's not a scary movie in the sense of a scary movie, but it is very suspenseful, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I can only recommend. It's one thing that obviously it's in the theater now, but if you have any interest in this film, watch it in the theater because you need to have that sound. You need to have, dude. Dude, my heart was literally pumping at someone. I was like, whoa, it stars John Krasinski, who's in The Office, and it stars his wife. I forgot her name. It stars his wife, and yes, please look it up. Yeah. The beauty of it,
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, thank you. The beauty of it is they're married in there. They're married. I know this, that they're married in real life. They've been married for years now. So to see them play off of each other and emotions, it's like you know what I'm saying. There's a certain realism to it because you can see there is love there. You know what I mean? And when there's love there, when things are happening, there's the concern they have. You have the same concern. You know what I mean? It's like. I'm like, oh man, it was so freaking good.
It's more natural.
Correct.
I mean, possibly. I don't know.
I don't know. I can tell you, they were very good moments. Emily Blunt was amazing in this. First off, so I'm gonna tell you what's from the trailer. So in the trailer, if you haven't seen the trailer yet, essentially it is that we don't exactly know what happened. It is a time somewhere in the future, maybe a little bit, where these families living in a home in the forest somewhere. They're very quiet. They do everything in their power to make sure they don't make any noise whatsoever. You know what I mean? And the reason for that is if there is a sound that's made higher than a certain decibel, it will attract a creature that essentially kills them.
A creature, or is it like
a creature?
Just one creature? Or
it's okay. It's multiple creatures because the world obviously has been decimated by it.
Okay.
Again, this is in the trailer.
So the movie doesn't have to, which I could appreciate if it doesn't need to explain where the creature is coming from or who created it or whatever. It's just it's there.
Exactly. It's a moment in time for these people. And you're honestly in the beginning you're like. You don't know how. In the beginning, you're just like, how would you get out of this? You know what I mean? There's percolous.
How am I going to watch a movie that it's got to be so quiet? But yet you're telling me you have to see it in the movie
in the theater
because the sound. And I'm not thinking, but it's a quiet place.
I know. It's one of those things, and I don't want to say why. I don't want to say why.
Like,
you just have to.
You have to see it to believe it.
You have to hear it. How about that? You have to hear it to believe it.
There you go. That's even better.
Yeah. And so, anyway, I freaking love it. I actually wouldn't mind going to see it again, even though I know what happens. But part of me is like, I know I'll probably watch this again at home, but I want that theater experience again because that is the optimum way of watching this film.
Let's set a time. Let me. I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna get my movie pass. How long did it take?
It's only an hour and a half.
No, sorry. I meant, how long did it take you
to get the card?
I would assume about a week,
It took a little. It took about almost
2 weeks.
It says it can take up to 14 days, and it probably took about 10 days. Yeah, somewhere around there. So it's unfortunately they don't come fast.
At least it's not a month though, because they gotta.
It feels
you
like
get a card, right?
I'm like, that's what you're waiting for. You can't do anything without the card.
So they gotta specially make that.
Well, of course, but I mean, my bank makes me my card, and they have it in 2 days. So I'm like,
but we're
what's the
talking
deal
about
with
a small-ish company versus a
True.
bank.
compared to Chase, I guess. But so yeah, I highly recommend it. It's probably the most fun I've had in the theater. I also don't want to oversell it, but for the record, we came home because I was like, how is this? How come I haven't heard more about this? I knew it was good, but I'm like, this has to be. It still holds a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes for the record.
Wow.
After all this time, it's been in theater for a while.
It's still,
So, just FYI. Oh, John Krasinski, the main star, also the director, also one of the writers. This feels like a passion project, which makes it even better. You know what I mean? Cool. His wife wasn't even supposed to be the one who was gonna star in it. She read the script and she was like, "Why don't you put me in there?" And frankly, I can't see anybody else in that. Yeah. So yes, that's all I've been doing. So. We're back, guys, and we're going to go right into some news items.
Oh no, wait. That's too.
That's a little
jumping the gun there, sir.
Yeah,
jumping the gun.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're too excited for this to end now.
Let me put it back.
Yes.
Let me put it back. Okay.
Let's not
Reel
blow
it in a
load
bit.
again, sir.
When in doubt, whip it out.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a lot. That's good stuff. I'll start here with some simple news. We just watched a trailer for the new Mowgli movie, and if you don't know who Mowgli is, first off, what the fuck? How do you not know who Mowgli is?
That is such an
seriously.
old story. How do you not know?
I mean,
who
you
that
probably
is?
know it
Hey,
better
by the name,
as...
I would not know.
Yeah. You probably know it better as The Jungle Book.
Jungle Book, yes.
So,
But wait a minute, we had a Jungle Book already.
We
Yes.
did. That one was live action, and it was by Disney.
And it was pretty awesome.
And it was really good. I actually enjoyed the hell out of it. This one here is not Disney. This is Warner Brothers. And they're doing a little bit more, what appears to be a little bit more of a darker take, because let's be real, Warner Brothers wants to make everything fucking dark.
Yeah, right?
That's just
That's
what
why
they
they
do.
have,
That explains it.
You know?
That explains
It's
a
why they
lot.
have
Yes.
DC.
Yeah, hello. It's like the DCU where we have to make this dark. Where Anyway, let's not.
They're
Let's
like
not.
they're literally like the edgelords of the movie industry.
By the way,
Yes.
live spoiler, but Deadpool makes fun of DC.
Oh, I think I seen it in
Yeah.
the trailer.
Yeah. So everybody-
That's not
okay,
a
good.
surprise.
Yeah. It's so dark. Yeah. So yes, apparently, and then of course here comes Mowgli. You know what I mean? But no, it looks pretty good. It looks. It has Andy Serkis. It has quite the cast actually. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis is going to have. I just forgot. I saw his name and I forgot. Christian Bale. Yeah, it's got a lot of characters in it, and the kid actually looks pretty. Like someone pretty good. Cinematography from the trailer looks really good, sir. What do you think? What do you guys think about that?
I was confused because I thought, is this a sequel to the Jungle Book movie that we had? But then I started seeing scenes like the serpent and
They're the same.
and the the tiger. I forgot. I don't know names. I remember seeing the movie. Like I never followed the actual story from Disney before.
Oh god!
So the first time I ever learned about Jungle Book, other than the fact that it existed, was the movie that I saw last year.
So you never saw the animated classic?
No, never saw the animated.
You never
classic.
saw Bare Necessities?
There's a lot
And
of
I know
Disney
you
movies
didn't
that
read
I've
the
never
book,
seen.
obviously.
I read the book. Yeah, it was like the
Read
simple
the book,
book.
you read?
Well, not the.
It was a simple chapter book.
Yeah, no, this was
Really?
like a kid's
Well,
book.
I
Yeah,
watched
so-
the season 1 of the Netflix series. How about that?
of Jungle Book.
I mean, I was going to say close
Of
enough.
Sure,
no,
yeah.
there's no such thing. But yeah, it looks really good. Other than the fact that the kid looks like a girl, if it's not for the fact
It's
that
'cause he has
he's
long
running, he's running without a shirt. Obviously because
I mean, they could play it off.
But it's like. But he looks like it looks like he does a pretty good job.
He does. It looks like he's
and
gonna be good.
and but seeing the animals, the way they talked about the way they talk and everything, it's just like this is almost like it looks very. I wouldn't say take by take because obviously the movie's not out for me to compare, but it looks so like that movie. It looks like Jungle Book
It kind of does. Yeah,
from last year.
Yeah.
A little too close for it to be like how there's not legal repercussions on this.
Well, they did. There was a not Snow White. What the hell was that other one? No, Snow White. Yeah. Snow White. There was
And
one.
the Huntsman.
The Snow White and the Huntsman, and then there was another one that came out, which was I think it had Julia Roberts or something like that.
that was more
and it came out
like-
like right at the same time, and it was way more like whimsical
I think it was,
and comedic
Through the
and all
Looking
that.
Glass.
Through the Looking Glass.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's So it's like
But they're both
They're
completely different. One's
two different
rustic,
companies, yeah.
the other's more fantasy
This
fairy
one-
tale.
true, and you can see if you watch the trailers of those, you know that they're different. Here, I kind of agree with you.
Here,
It does
this
kind of
one
look
looks too
very
close.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I
Very
guess it's a
similar,
jungle.
but
I mean, how much
there's some
difference
stuff
could
that are different. There's some stuff
Like what? I didn't
like
see
the
anything different.
more
Well, I mean,
the
yeah,
more
the darker. Huh?
the more human interaction and
Oh yeah, there's
the
a lot more
darker
humans
Yeah.
elements of it.
Yeah, they definitely with a darker aspect, which
Less
again, Warner Brothers.
more humorous, childlike, more musical kind of.
Oh, less musical like the other one, yeah. This is going to star, as I mentioned, Christian Bale. It will have Benedict Cumberbatch, also known as Doctor Strange, Kate Blanchett, Naomi Harris, and of course Andy Serkis himself. And it will be released October 19th, guys.
Oh, well, speaking of anthropomorphic characters in movies and not characters, animals.
Furries? No.
Furries? Well, depends on how you see it. Wolf Among Us.
Oh, snap.
It's having a movie?
Oh, it totally should. Wait, it would have. It did, right?
Or at least a TV show.
I would be okay. I would be okay with a series.
What, a series?
Yes.
It will seem more better.
Was that called Bright? Oh, no, that's not it. Never mind.
Different supernatural.
Yes.
So guess what? Who's excited for more Wolf Among Us?
I am.
2? So you're gonna have to wait then, because it has been delayed, unfortunately, to 2019.
Oh, it's funny how they announce delays when I don't think we had a solid date to begin with. So it's like,
hey guys, I know you guys are waiting for Wolf Among Us, but it's getting delayed, and you're like, wait, Wolf Among Us 2 was getting done?
And on top of that, though,
that should be the news.
Yeah.
You're getting like slapped in the face by all these other games coming out.
That's okay.
So by the time that comes out, be like, okay, I'll pick it up now.
I'm not a big fan of Telltale games. That said, I really enjoyed Wolf Among Us.
I agree.
Yes.
I have to tell you that I quit Batman.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sad to say that, considering how much of a fan of Batman that I am, I just couldn't do it. I'm done. I'm just I'm episode 3.
Oh, because all of them are out. You could technically finish it, right?
Season. I'm doing season 1 because season 1 came through PS Plus.
Yeah,
and I can't. It's just you know what? I don't know if it's I'm not hooked on the story. No. I don't know if it's the freaking engine. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It just wasn't grabbing me, and it felt like I was working just to get to the end. You know what I mean? The story is not what I was expecting. I know they do some differences on it, but sometimes it's just a bridge a little too far. I'm like, I don't know if I would go with that. You know
I started seeing a video, and this one was focusing more on the Game of Thrones one that they did.
That was another one. I only did one episode of that one.
Where
I muscled through that one.
It almost showed you. It also showed you how your decision didn't matter. Like you can pick another decision, and it the same outcome will happen. And that kind of like it's what I'm telling you. It kind of turned me off.
I'm surprised they didn't talk mostly about the background.
The choice of art style was
horrendous.
Yeah. Side note, actually, now that you're mentioning that, Detroit.
Become Human.
Become Human. Thank you. I forgot the subtitle. For some reason, I was thinking Meet All Humans or Destroy All Humans.
Oh no,
that game was great.
Detroit, Middle Earth.
Detroit, Become Human is gonna be out pretty soon, and
it's out now.
It's out now.
Yeah, it came out today actually.
Shoot, and I haven't seen a lot of
podcast recording, by the way.
Yeah. I have not seen a lot of fanfare about it, because remember I was on that I think it was in December with the Sony experience. I was like super stoked about it. I was like, no, this is the best game that Sony has. That this is the one that I'm interested even more than God of War. And I feel like after God of War, I can wait.
The bar is a little higher.
Yeah, now it's like, am I ready to play? I mean, it looks gorgeous.
It does look
amazing.
Really,
yeah, but I don't know.
I think here's my issue with these, and I think it's a limitation to the type of game that it is. The problem with these games are that, well, to be fair, David Cage's games or Quantic Dream's games, there's possible repercussions towards the end. It's not like Telltale, where for the most part, yes, you're taking a whole different path, but you kind of end up back in the same spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This one has multiple endings.
This has very different stuff, but the problem is each of these paths has to be fully fleshed out.
Yeah.
The one thing that I've heard, or I should say read, on some of these things, very spoiler-free type stuff, is that sometimes a path doesn't feel like it's this hard right turn that the story takes, because it's like, well, maybe it wasn't prepared for you to take this choice, so it just feels like, well, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It just and that, I think, is a problem with a lot of these games. That was a problem to me with a lot of the Telltale games. Yes, some of it works really well, but to be completely just going to be completely real, if you take a Telltale game and you decide to just be an ass on it, throughout the whole thing, it's your character is going to feel like a flip flop all the time.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh
because
my God, yes.
it's not designed for you to do that. Even though you have the choice to make bad decisions, the character and the way it's been developed, it's like it will. It's like you decide to do all this crazy stuff, and he still has feelings for it. What the hell? You know what I mean?
I was thinking the exact train of thought yesterday. For some reason, I was thinking of Mass Effect, though.
Yeah.
It was,
the Paragon.
And I think it was the fact that I was, delving into Detroit and watching some reviews and whatnot, that it makes me think, like, if I want to play this game as a total asshole, it doesn't matter, because I'll still be the total asshole that saves
the words. Yeah, exactly,
it's like, I can't.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
no,
exactly,
no. I think that's why I like Knights of the Old Republic. From one of the early from BioWare, the first one actually, where even though it was very black and white, at one point in the story, you make a decision that, okay, you make this decision, you're gonna get the evil ending. You make this decision, you're gonna get the good ending. So that wasn't very well, but it was very early, so I can forgive him for that. But the evil ending was fucking evil, especially for a Star Wars character. I mean, you basically have your Chewbacca character, because he owes you a debt. He kills his previous master, basically. It's like it's very messed up, very dark, but you don't get that anymore.
That's one thing that I will, and I know I speak highly of The Witcher every time I bring up The Witcher 3, but. That's one thing I will definitely say about The Witcher 3, where it differs a little bit. Yes,
hopefully
Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, your character Geralt can make a good decision on something, but you still know that character. Especially now that I'm going through the books, he is not a good character. He is, he's a mercenary for money. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, for the most part, he still makes decisions, and he has this affinity towards he's almost like, he's a perfect comparison to him is from Game of Thrones, Tyrion,
yeah,
where he
has a moral compass,
correct, yeah, you know what I mean, but he's still not a great guy.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's that type of thing. Obviously, he's mercenary.
It seems like he makes everything work in his favor,
correct,
at times.
Exactly, and he'll take advantage of it. But my point is to say that still had its weird arc moments. I'll be completely, because it was like, whoa, that was because I decided to take this hard left, and it forced me right again. You know what I mean? But not all the time. And it's such a big story. It's just like they really put a lot into that. So that's my only issue. That's why I'm kind of interested in Detroit Become Human. But
I'm interested too. I'm not sure if full price just yet. Even though again, it was my most anticipated game.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you just have to wait a little more.
All of this to say that the reason why Wolf Among Us 2 was delayed, because we were talking about that, remember?
Back to the main point.
Was because it was because as a result of a few fundamental changes, the company said. They say taking this extra time will allow us to not only to focus on quality, but also to experiment and iterate in order to craft something truly special. That sounds like the reason for every delay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ultimately, our goal is to deliver an experience deserving of the passion you have consistently shown for the Wolf Among Us, and the rest just sounds like marketing. So I'm going to skip all that. Anyway, they're saying it's for quality.
For quality. Yeah, okay. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, I will play that one.
Yeah.
All right then.
Miss Shadow.
So Fortnite has been going strong lately.
Oh my God, has it ever?
Has it ever? Yeah.
Some good stuff. Recently, they just brought in jetpacks, which is fun, and they are limited to their uses.
Oh, okay. So you can't just fly around the whole thing.
No,
okay.
You actually have fuel.
Oh,
so once it's done,
of course.
it's done.
Of course.
but that's not the main reason I'm talking about it. So Epic Games has released some things that they're going to put into the future.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to bring in more tweaks to controllers because people have been having some issues. Quality of life improvements, whatever that is. And more limited time modes, like a new playground mode that lets you respawn.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What?
That kind of changes the dynamic a little bit.
That changes everything.
So what this is, it's a limited time mode that usually lasts about a week or so or more. It will load you into the Battle Royale map with an extended period of time to roam around the map. Okay. There'll be increased resources, all treasure chests and ammo crates will be present, and friendly fire will be enabled. So you can kill your own teammates like you used to.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Lady Red. I will never forgive you for that.
Wait, I thought you killed her.
No, she killed me.
Oh. It's okay. I've done it before because one of my friends jumped in front of me while I had a shotgun. So I'm like, that's your own fault.
Yeah. I think I hit you once. I'm sorry. I still apologize.
Doesn't matter. But there will be immediate respawns after.
Oh, nice. For okay.
And there'll be promised of loads of llamas too, because there'll be llamas around the map that gives you a lot of resources and some good loot.
Oh, okay. Awesome. All right. Do you remember what the GCU is?
The DCU?
GCU.
You might have
GCU?
to.
Oh, that's Best Buy, right?
Yes.
The Best Buy. Yeah, I'm subscribed to that, actually. That is... It is pretty cool.
Good thing you are.
So lay it on us.
I like it.
Unfortunately, Best Buy is ending the GCU program.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. And unfortunately, there's no replacement.
You like my acting?
Yes, I know. Very good.
It's
very believable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to sell it.
I'm going to submit this piece to the SAG.
The Association of Movie Advocates? Or Pornhub.
Yeah. Oh my God, no. Yes, so Best Buy is no longer selling the Gamers Club Unlocked. For those who don't know what GCU is, Gamers Club Unlocked, membership program that granted 20% discounts on new video games and pre-orders. The company apparently broadcast this news via their internal memo last week. And through this article that I'm reading, which is Polygon, could not confirm the existence of this particular memo from any of the employees they spoke to. However, it does show, if you go to the actual Best Buy page, it does show the GCU information and what it offers, and all that stuff. But unfortunately, the ability to buy a new membership is not available. Of course, they will honor existing memberships until the end of said membership.
In future news, Best Buy is closing all their stores in the United States.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was like the only thing keeping Best Buy open besides their TVs.
I don't know if that's the only thing that's keeping them.
No, but it's like the only like you can't praise freaking Geek Squad or all the other, and other than the place where you guys you go buy your TV if you're afraid of ordering online for cheaper.
It's literally the place people will go to if they don't want to order online. Like they want it right now.
But the only good thing that they have going that you can say, oh yeah, but I can pre-order my games and get them on the same day, and and I don't have to worry about will I get it on time, and I still get the 20%. And it was a good program. I mean, it was good enough where I have Prime and I signed up for it. I signed up for the GCU. And because
you still have Prime at the same time, right?
And I have Prime. Yeah, I don't remember if there was something. There's some extra benefit. I on top of my head, I hate to that I don't remember, but I guess it doesn't matter now since they're taking it out. But there was a particular reason why I decided to go into it. I think it was because I was starting to see Amazon not honoring the 20%.
They're 20%,
on the games. If there once the pre-order time frame have passed, that's it. You couldn't, you'll get a regular price.
I have to agree. I mean, looking at this from a business perspective, you know what I mean? Pre-ordering it, getting 20% off, that to me means more than whatever pre-order bonus bullshit you're going to give me.
Yeah.
Are you going to give it to me at a cheaper price? Down. Here's my money. You know what I mean? To extend that past the release date, that was cool of them for doing. However, when they stopped doing it, I was like, I don't, hey, I don't blame you. I never, I was like, I know it.
Yeah,
it
it's probably
sucks.
not
What I mean?
sustainable.
Correct.
Yeah.
And same thing for Best Buy. I mean, Best Buy is a brick and mortar location that is probably suffering losses, year on year, So chances are they're like, yeah, this is we're leaking money here with this particular program. And frankly, we don't need to. And then on top of that, I'm sorry to interrupt, but on top of that, the rise of digital sales is not helping them.
It's not helping them, no. Yeah. But I mean, you are paying them $30 in advance, and I would think the average gamer, the average gamer probably spend more than more than 3 games a year. I would think, but still, it was a program that at least will get you to the store, which I think is the whole point of all these loyalty programs and stuff. To get you to the store.
It is.
We need the foot traffic.
You're there, exactly. And I mean, you look at those stores, and I mean, they're not Toys R Us, may they rest in peace, but they're not looking very healthy. I mean, they are closing stores. So
I'm still a Toys R Us kid. Just saying.
You don't want to grow up?
I don't want to grow up.
I mean, Best Buy, honestly, now, since I've been discontinued, it's nice to look at their PC parts and all that, and that's it.
Yeah. That's all they have now.
I got Amazon. Thank you.
Yeah, but to actually look at it and hold it in your hand.
Smell it and lick it.
Yeah.
I bought a new set of speakers that I have never seen and touch. I mean, I've seen the photos, and I just buy them because the good thing is that if I don't like them, they don't give me any hassle whatsoever
Amazon,
to return
they
them.
don't.
Yeah,
they're good.
I never had a hassle though with Best Buy returning a router.
that's true.
Though.
That's true. They don't have it either.
As long as it's not like broken, be like, here, return it.
Yeah. So that Solo movie came out.
It sure did.
Our Solo, yeah. You guys remember?
I did.
Yeah. How come we haven't seen it?
It just came out today.
Yeah. Oh, today is it? Oh, okay.
Maybe that's why we haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had. Yeah, it's the first Star Wars movie that I not running to watch it.
I know. I just thought about that. You mentioned it, and I'm going, man, we would have seen it. We would have had plans to see this.
We would have exactly.
I think it's because we know the story
I think
already.
Says it all, yeah.
I think it's because it doesn't. It feels because even Rogue One, we wanted to see it. We weren't. We were excited about that. But movies based on a particular character, I don't know.
When he's young and nothing is going to happen to him because we already know what happens to him.
Yeah.
Like if they did this before,
maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said like before, like when he was a baby.
No, before all
before.
Yeah.
Before the previous one. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So, Solo is expected to have the worst opening for a Star Wars movie in a while, but still, it may set a record. So it's still not
as the worst movie.
I think people will just see it just because it's a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. The reviews, and I've seen the early reviews, they haven't been bad. I mean, they're not stellar or anything like that.
75, 77,
which is
okay. That's not too bad.
Which is good. Yeah, which is
it could be worse.
Which is good. And I don't. let me clarify. It's not that I hate the character and I don't want to see. I don't have anything against the character. It is the possibility of the excessive usage of the license. And
it's oversaturated.
Yes, exactly. And there is a way to do it right, and there is a way to do it poorly, to the point where it could actually. Like I'm always surprised how Marvel hasn't had the problem. Or I don't feel like they have had this problem yet, but I could now that.
We're coming to the end.
We're coming to the end of this, and that story that whole drama of the Infinity Stones, that's the story that's that's going to have an end.
That's closing now.
It's closing in very, very soon, and after
I don't
that,
think you can really do much after that.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. Well, I mean, there probably is big enough.
There is plan. Phase 4 is already out there, and out there in the sense that it's already on the chalkboard for them. And that takes phase 4 after this stuff. So
I can see that at that point after the Infinity Stones, I can see it going like okay, now these movies are opening and they have good sales, but they're never gonna be what they were.
They're gonna be Han Solo.
It's like everything. It's like freaking. It's like Call of Duty. It's like Battlefield. It's like anything that you just grind to the ground. Almost. And with Star Wars is no exception. I mean, we're super excited to know that episode 7 was coming. And I mean, my God, we got those tickets early, and then Rogue One, and we were like, well, yay!
Sure,
I think we're gonna have
one.
one story. Although that I was like, oh man, I'm starting to be a little concerned that they're gonna start doing a lot of I don't need a yearly Star Wars. Sorry, I don't. And then episode 8, and he was great also, and then Solo now, and there's even more because, actually, let me finish this one, and I have a little bit more to say about the next Star Wars movie. And no, I'm not talking about episode 9.
There's more.
So just for those who don't know, Solo, a Star Wars story. I love the fact that they had to specify that, by the way. A Star Wars story opens in theater this week and is expected to make a lot of money, of course, but not as much as the other movies. According to Hollywood Reporter, Solo is tracking to make between 130 million and 150 million over the upcoming 4-day Memorial Day weekend, which is nothing to sneeze at when you can win.
Yeah, definitely.
The current Memorial Day weekend record holder is Pirates of the Caribbean. A World's End, which made 139.8 million over the 4-day long weekend in 2007. So I think even those amounts, those numbers, feel a little optimistic for me because I feel like the buzz is not really there.
It's not there to consistently.
And I don't want to be closed-minded that it's just us, and just because we don't like it, the world doesn't like it.
I feel a lot of people.
But I haven't heard a lot of
Let me tell you, I have not heard I have dinner here every Thursday, right? And I'll talk to Joey, I'll talk to Nelson, I'll talk to a bunch of people about, hey, whatever movies, whatever. Yeah. Solo is not mentioned. We've mentioned other films. Mm-hmm. So as a matter of fact, Infinity War came up multiple times, even though we all seen it, and even though we've all talked about it, like the following week or the following dinner, we're still talking about it again. Dude, do you remember that? You know what I mean?
Even Black
Solo,
Panther,
nothing
was mentioned.
Yeah. It's like Solo, nothing. I don't think anybody had. So I don't think. Well, I agree. It sounds like we're being down on it. No, I think overall it's just it didn't seem. I mean, Rogue One felt like a movie didn't need to happen. And to me personally, I thought it was a great, addition to it, even though, whatever. This one here, when they first announced, it's like, what the hell? Why? Yeah, this is even less necessary.
Well, I think because Rogue One was more about history and...
There was a character we didn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a character we didn't know, but events that we did know.
Yeah,
correct.
Versus a character we do know and everything we've already known.
Yeah, already. Exactly.
You don't need to tell. And it takes away the mystery of it. There's something cool about not having to know everything about a particular character,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, there's books that can be written and all that and whatever. And that's fine. That's almost feels optional, But when you put it in a movie format, now you're making that canon.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying stuff suddenly that, Lando Calrissian was always pansexual because he will fuck anything. Because how could he not? Yeah. He lives in space. And now that's canon. And people are going to be like, well, holy shit. I like Lando and I like to make a decision. Does that mean that I'm pansexual? No. And stuff like that. So
I think it's more because they're trying to, in this day and age, they're trying to represent everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the only way people will... understand and actually be happy about us seeing it in a movie.
Well, make a new character and base that.
Yeah, you have multiple new characters, and then why alter a character from the past?
Yeah.
To fit a necessary or to check a box. I guess.
Yeah, to check a box. It feels like it's.
That's exactly what it is. It doesn't feel genuine. Yeah.
No. So you spoke of Rogue One. That's currently the lowest. The
correct.
The record holder for the lowest right now, having made 155.1 million. in its opening weekend back in December 2016. Man, I remember that was around the time of my when I got married.
Yep.
And I kind of wanted us to, after the wedding was done, just go to the movies. And so that would have been probably not
that
what I
would
would
have
have
flown
with the
appreciated.
wife, yes.
Yeah. I think
Because
you would
you would
be
have
okay with it.
everyone just all dressed up.
No,
coming to
everybody,
the
let's go
theaters.
to, and the movie was right there. It
They're
was
like-
the Epic Theater, so it was like right. I got married on the hotel right next to the Epic Theater.
So they
Yes,
probably would have
right,
been
right.
like,
Perfect.
what's going on here?
The reception is happening over at Epic Theaters.
Yeah,
guys.
there you
Let's go over there. Got a little table set up.
You could have, honestly. You could have.
Well, now that you know about the Solo movie, and sorry, don't mean to extend it, but I might as well throw this.
Yeah, might as well
little
throw it
news
in,
over
yeah.
there. Boba Fett is getting a Star Wars standalone movie with Logan's director, the director of Logan. movie.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was going to say that few second silence that just happened kind of says everything.
Yeah.
that just happened. Yeah. According to the Hollywood Reporter, again, James Mangold has signed up. Has signed on to write, and this is a horribly worded sentence, and I read it even worse. James Mangold has signed on to write and direct Boba Fett movie.
Someone needs to
To
proofread.
Proofread this.
Mangold most recently wrote and directed Logan, which was a great film. If you guys remember that recently.
One of Marvel's best.
One of Marvel's best. I had to think. Wait, you're
I
fucking
know.
me up, aren't you?
I know.
One of Fox's best, right?
All right, sure.
It's fucked me up right there. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to. That's good.
We're just going to have to wait and see.
We know the next character. I still think that the worm character from the trash compactor needs to have his own movie.
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's
I
the
agree.
Noga?
Or the
Oh, not to mention,
the little
The
from,
Ponda Baba?
from the last Jedi.
Ewoks?
The little
oh, the
Ewoks,
birds.
yes.
The little
But
birds
the little like rodent thing from the trailer you kept seeing.
from the trailer. The rodent. Oh, I thought those were birds.
Were they birds?
Yeah, they were
I've
like,
never seen the movie.
Yeah.
Like, we need a story on that now.
Oh, yes.
We need to start. I feel every character that's shown needs to have a story.
I just want to. I'm not.
You
this
know
is
what?
not my
How
news
about
item.
this?
I just want to jump off what you said because you didn't mention it. I thought you were going to mention this. Furthermore, the Hollywood Reporter says that Disney is in negotiations with Stephen Daldry to direct the Obi-Wan film.
that's
what?
right, the
Yeah.
Obi-Wan film.
Oh,
That's-
great.
oh,
At
Though
this
there's no
point,
script or writers
Just
of the
bring
book.
in Jar Jar Banks now.
Oh,
God,
my
kill
God.
me
At
this
now.
point-
Kill me now.
It'll be straight to TV, probably.
2024, mark it down. I'm saying it. Will bring us the Leia movie. It's happening. It's happening. If the Leia movie is happening.
Probably. Yeah. That'll be enough time for people
Yeah.
to go, sure, why not? We'll
Yeah,
do
of
it. Yeah.
course. It's like, let's make a movie about everybody.
Yeah. Bring them all back.
Let's make a movie about the Millennium Falcon. Let's
Yes. How it was built. Like, it had, like, you ever see the movie? You probably haven't seen it. I don't know why I started this question. I'm sorry. There's this movie called War Horse, real quick. War Horse.
go. I think I've seen that.
It's a movie about a war horse. Throughout a war, but we're focusing on this horse.
It's literally like
Like literally.
Yeah.
like
So this is-
Secretariat or
Yeah.
Spirit.
Isn't
So-
that a Trojan horse?
No.
No.
The Trojan horse was a fake horse.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we're talking
A war
about a real
horse.
horse.
Yeah, it's an actual war horse.
Oh,
And, like,
Which is
a
the,
horse that was used throughout this war.
The
But we're
Clydesdales. Clydesdales
Correct.
are horses.
But this was the horse that we're focusing on. This
All
is,
right.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Moss
That's
will talk
what the
about
Millennium
Ball,
Falcon
too.
movie will be.
A movie about a
Miss Shadow, I'm
a
sorry.
movie about a Millennium Falcon.
About a Millennium Falcon.
No, he's
It
just
would
a
literally-
falcon, the animal, but he's a millennial.
Yes.
So he's constantly complaining about everything. You know.
And they honor this Millennium Falcon by making a ship and calling it the Millennium Falcon.
Exactly.
It would literally be a how it's made
Oh
movie.
my God,
Mm-hmm.
stop us.
Exactly. I'm sorry, Michelle. Go ahead.
So I'm going to start the Battlefield 5 train.
Oh shoot! Yeah,
Battlefield
We haven't
5?
talked
Oh,
about
yeah,
it.
that's right,
How
yeah.
come we didn't open with that?
Like,
Probably
we're
because we
almost
wanted to close with
done.
it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
that and I just kind of wanted to avoid it. Go ahead.
So after EA, really revealed Battlefield 5, a small bit of fans were voicing their concern because it showed a female character in it.
No! I won't take it! There's a female on the war game!
For the record.
Oh no. Girls. There's a
Mr.
grill over there.
Allowed.
This is simply a reenactment of the internet's reaction, guys. This is not
Quite
GG's
literally.
reaction.
You know what?
Were we good or were we good?
Can I?
Yes. Good job, guys.
I'm sorry. Before we continue, if you're one of those guys, just get the hell out of our group. Just get the fuck out of our group. We don't want you. If you're gonna be like, well, because I understand some people have concern about it not being historically accurate.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? This is historically accurate.
Because it's a fucking game. That's why it doesn't need to have historical accuracy. This is like a blockbuster film where Wonder Woman helped win the First World War, did she? And guess what? She was a Wonder Woman. All right.
So,
if it wasn't for her, the Nazis would have probably conquered.
Hashtag true story.
Hashtag true story. So people are concerned about Battlefield 5 not having historical accuracy. Just go to watch a fucking documentary. What the fuck? You're not playing a game for historical accuracy.
So,
and rant.
Okay then. So since his rant's done, Oscar Gabrielson, he's the general manager for the DICE development team. He has said that female characters are here to stay.
Good.
Because if you're going to make a game that is based on historical events, you want to make it accurate.
Mm-hmm.
If not, people will be upset.
Yes. They were a part of it. Like it or not.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Even in World War One.
Seriously, freaking America.
Which Battlefield 1 did show.
Together.
Yes, you're right.
There's a lot more.
That was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
okay. Well, I'll jump off that and mention real quick, just to, again, piggyback off of Shadow's story. Battlefield 5, for the record, guys, will have a premium real money currency.
Oh, shocking.
I can hear
shitballs.
I'll tell you what.
The salt in that.
Mm-hmm.
Take all the girls out, and I'll take the premium currency. Say no one ever.
Good stuff, sir. Good stuff. Frankly, there's a long article as to what this means, but I'm going to minimize this just to say this is EA saying we want your money. So that's it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
move on to the next subject.
Have you guys seen the trailers?
Move on to the hot topic.
Have,
there
yes.
we go.
All right. So the trailer is fantastic.
Yeah, so let's talk about
yes.
the trailer now.
Very good.
Honestly.
It is. You guys know that I currently have a standing boycott in a stand.
We all do.
We
all
all do.
Yeah, we have what do you call that when you wall off a company that you can't do business
embargo.
with them. Embargo. Yeah, we have an embargo against sanctions.
We got
sanctions against that we have not lifted against EA for their treatment of gamers and the way they
riot,
try to for the way they handle Battlefront 2. A game that was very long awaited and completely disappointing.
And their ongoing
and their
growing of loot boxes and in-game currency.
And exactly. We mean shit to this company. We're just big fat wallets for this particular company, And but that said, the studios, the poor studios under them, they try to handle the situation as best they can, and they have some very talented studios. DICE is a very talented studio. Yes. I mean, when you saw Battlefront, if you take away all that money crap and stuff like that, and the stupid story, single player story that didn't deliver, that could have been handled differently, but the tech itself was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And it's a gorgeous looking game.
Yeah. So and this game has all the. It looks fun. If they're saying they're not gonna try to make it pay to win, that's really cool. That's really cool. They're doing that. And
it's sad that they have to say that though.
Right.
Except that, I think they have. I think they have come from
I know, but I'm saying it's sad that they have to say that.
Oh, it's sad. Yeah. Except I thought you said except that they have. No. Yeah, definitely. But at the end of the day, even if this game have all the merits of being an apology, almost, I feel like it's too late. EA hasn't cleaned their act. They haven't. At the end of the day, they're still doing whatever they can to skew the game into having us, pay them more, because it's not like we're getting the game for free to play.
That's a $60 game.
Like that.
Exactly.
So they want to get you money and then get you money again. And even if they say, "Oh, but there's not gonna all maps are gonna be free," and people are like, "Oh my god, that's awesome!" You don't remember that's exactly what they did with Battlefront 2, and we all got excited about that, and it was handled. I mean, they will have to handle this like golden, like that golden standard where I will have to say, okay, I think they're looking better. But as of right now, as it stands right now, Battlefield 5, no, and Anthem, even less, because that looks even worse.
That's what I'm saying. To me, it's not going to be this one game. It's going to be a multiple. And I have no problem boycotting a company, because I've done it before. Yeah. And many a game passed me by because of it, and it is what it is. Yeah. But
there's not a lack of good games anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's mostly sports. But the worst part, though,
in a great time for gamers. Yeah.
The worst part, though, is that the majority of the people who will buy this stuff is kids.
Yeah, they don't. They don't know or don't care. One of the two.
No, the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. No, I got you here. My last piece, real quick, is going to be Death Stranding.
Oh, snap.
Death Stranding
I thought it was
news.
going to be an E3.
It will be at E3.
It will.
And a
I
certain
hope
gentleman.
We'll have a date.
Hopefully. A certain gentleman by the name of Mads Mikkelsen. Perhaps you know him from such shows as Hannibal. No? Nothing? No?
Yeah, I know him. I know.
Okay.
Nothing.
Mads Mikkelsen. So he says that Death Stranding will need global player cooperation. Interesting little line there. So he was doing a press circuit out for his new movie called Arctic, and a nice little company sat with him, Total Film, sat with him down and to ask him a little bit about the experience of mocapping performance and working with Hideo Kojima. After expressing his awe and confusion, Mikkelsen.
Who's Hideo Kojima?
Yeah, Mikkelsen was of the project. He let it slip about the game. The whole concept of playing the game, as I understand, needs collaboration from different people from different parts of the world, which is also another level of fantasticness. That's exactly his quote. The game was last shown at Game Awards, last year, and there's very little that we know about this game other than the fact that it's going to be batshit crazy, because let's be real, I mean, it's Kojima, and Kojima is wonderfully kooky. You know what I mean? And
they're a wonderful cookie.
Yeah, wonderful cookie. So what do you think that means?
Oh man, that sounds to me. I started to think about Metal Gear Solid 5. Metal Gear Solid 5's offshore base, whatever that mode was.
Oh yeah, it
sounded cool.
The FOBs, yeah.
FOBs, yeah. Thank you. It sounded cool as an optional feature. If you're gonna tell me that Death Stranding is gonna necessitate this, multiplayer collaboration or whatever they want to frame it as, that makes me a lot less excited about the game. I mean, doesn't turn me off completely. I mean, there's multiplayer games that are all right for what they are. I mean, Destiny, for example, and stuff like that. But that sounds a little game servicey, and that's not the type of games that I'm looking to play lately.
It does sound a little game servicey. Now,
game as service.
Yeah, I got you. There is he sat down with an interview with Greg Miller of Kind of Funny. He was in Australia and, out there promoting a bunch of stuff. Sat down with him for 2 hours, 2-hour interview. Somewhere along the line in this interview, well, I mean, keep in mind there's a translation going on, so it takes a little longer than normal. Somewhere along this interview, he mentions that Death Stranding, you are already playing this game. Do you recall this quote? No.
No, that we are already.
We are already playing this game.
Oh
And
shit!
yes,
Apparently.
exactly. So, what does that mean? What do you?
This is Front Fractions 3. Holy shit!
Exactly
He's
what I was
literally
thinking.
blowing your mind right
Okay, I know he loves. First off, he loves films. He's a big film buff, which is what I love about Kojima. So because of that, he brings a lot of cinematography to video games, which generally, doesn't have a big cinematic
No,
moments.
done correctly.
Yeah, when not done
Yeah.
correctly. So first of all, I recommend you go check out this interview because it's a great interview. Him and Greg Miller obviously have a nice rapport, and you can tell that they enjoy each other's company, and they play a lot of games together at that on the thing too. Anyway, my point is to say that he mentioned that at that point that had to be like last year, and I think it has a lot of what I'm reading is a lot of people think it has to do with social media. Social media is already connected with it. And they may be trying to connect a social media aspect to the game. How that would work, I don't know. Anything that I've seen from the game does not show anything that has a social media element to it. I mean, I remember seeing that crazy, the very last trailer that they show with the guys with with those space suits and that crazy thing on his shoulder that was flapping, and it was like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah.
It's like the first time we saw it, he was on a beach, and then you saw like
a baby come out of his hands,
and then like
or
spaceships in the sky. It's like
didn't they go into his mouth, and then the baby was in there, and it was just like, it was some weird dude. Let me tell you. I love Kojima for his crazy wackiness.
But you know what? Also, he has been known for doing trailers that completely divert from the fact from what it is.
Oh yeah.
So even that thing with the baby could really mean nothing.
Nothing at all.
Could be just a dream sequence.
It could be dream sequence, or the baby could represent something that you, as
like,
a gamer, would have to put together
or something.
The what? The plague? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a plague's going on. So that's
oil.
like
I think there was like an oil moment where you see like handprints of oil.
Yeah.
So who knows?
So we know some epidemic happened.
Perhaps, yeah. With Kojima.
I have two smaller pieces that I want to bring back to back, basically, because they're kind of small. Though they're important, yes. Sony, according to Sony, VR market grows below expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Is the dream over? That's not what Sony said. Basically there was an investor call that they had. On an investor relation event, sorry, not a call, but an investor relations event, Sony said that while the PSVR especially was growing, growth for the overall VR market was below expectation.
Mm-hmm.
The line came in the note under the changes and improvement section of the presentation of Sony's business. So basically, their business, they say they're doing all right. It's just VR in general has not grown. And
it has not taken off.
It has not taken off.
I mean, if you've looked at all the stuff they've released already, you can see why.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, I've heard good stuff about it. And believe it or not, Judges Week happened not last week, the week before.
A couple weeks ago.
While they haven't specifically said what's happened, they've mentioned that a lot of PSVR games were shown. So it's one of those weird situations where if they had this support for the Vita would still be good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Vita died because for whatever reason they I don't want to say they pulled the plug, but they just said, hey, let it be what it is.
I think it also had very strong competitor from Nintendo.
True,
Yeah.
but if they had first party support, like right now, what's the reason why you still have a PlayStation? Because that's the only way you're going to play God of War, right?
Yeah.
So if you have first party support that you can say, hey, build a game from ground up for the PlayStation Vita, people would buy the Vita. I mean, granted, they will probably still play other games on the 3DS, whatever, but they'd still buy the Vita because it has, exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. I feel like the Vita's case, it was hard. Not just Nintendo, but mobile in general.
They also made it to...
But I still say, I would argue, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I would argue that the Vita would have a better life cycle had they showed the support that they apparently are showing to VR, which apparently feels like is crashing and burning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I was one of the people going, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. You know what I mean? But I think what they've lost sight of is all the other things you can do with VR. It doesn't have to be games. Yes, you want to do some games. Do other things. You know what? Do Sony's PlayStation conference and let me view it through the VR sunglasses. That would be amazing.
But would that be enough to get you to buy the headset?
I mean, not enough to get me to buy the headset, but give other companies reason to use the set. It's like, oh shit! Like I told you, we were talking about this before. I'm not going to go into that, but we talked about doing concerts, doing all this stuff. Man, I would love that, dude. I would love to be able to do stuff. I can sit in football games, just a football game. I can sit at the 50-yard line going like, yeah, turning left and right, feeling like I'm there. Yeah. You know what I mean? And yes, I'll probably only do it for one or two games a year. You know what I mean? But still, you know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be games.
And there are experiences that are cool. It's just that because of the lack of headsets out there, you don't tend to see a lot of buzz on it.
And on top of that, I'm sorry to interrupt. The other aspect of it is the fact that you can do, like I could do VR on my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it looks great. You know what I mean? It's not like it's shit. You know, it's actually pretty good.
It was...
it's just content is very
slim.
And it's same because, like, how do you convince companies to work for a platform that doesn't really have a lot of consumers?
A lot of people, and they're not even buying games anymore.
Yeah, and they were expecting to have more. Actually, they were saying like, for example, Matt Conte, who is from Oculus VR, they who got interviewed by Eurogamer. They say that he said, "I'm not gonna mince words. VR is still small." He said, warning to developers. There's not that many headsets out there. There's not that many headsets out there as we thought there might be a couple of years ago. It's growing, and it's actually growing at a pretty decent pace. But every decision that you make, you should be thinking about how does this get my title into the most users' hands as possible. Possible. So, yeah, it's a platform. Evidently, they say it's going. You know. I also think that the price is a big issue with it.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's not cheap.
VR like all the VR headsets are pricey.
They are madly, and then if you buy a cheap one, then you have a substantially compromised experience. You know,
and most of the cheap ones are for phones anyway.
Yeah. And the other one, real quick, that I wanted to mention because I was super excited when I saw this, and I hope to God this is true. Sunset Overdrive is possibly headed to PC.
Oh, yeah.
That will make me so
I'm
happy.
not surprised, because with the whole PC link with Xbox and
but it has been.
That's that one title that never made it over.
Yeah, they haven't mentioned. They haven't done it just yet. I'll be so pleased to hear about that. You know, maybe
hopefully they'll get more players.
Yeah.
You need to play that game because that game was really cool. But unfortunately, it's just still take it with a grain of salt. You know, they say Sunset Overdrive could be coming to PC following the exclusive debut on Xbox One. The listing for Sunset Overdrive PC was spotted by Twitter user Nibelian on a Korean game ratings board.
Wow.
Roughly translated, the application for the rating was made by Microsoft Corporation Korea. And then there's the Twitter from this Nibelian person. But if that's usually how you find out that, you know, the games and it ends up being true. And I mean, just the other day, I don't know if you guys talked about Walmart had a huge leak.
Yeah, we talked before you left.
For the most part, it ended up being true. Mm-hmm. It ended up being true. You know, we were thinking,
and we were all like, no.
Rage 2, come on.
More or less, they have the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happens. They leak the list of freaking games. Yeah.
So,
the list before anybody else.
Anyway, I'm super excited. If that was the fact, that would be day one for me.
So, a little something like I wanted you to go into your final, but I wanted to go back to VR just for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, it can be used as like therapy, like visual
therapy, absolutely,
therapy, and also can be accessible for people who are disabled.
Absolutely.
Again, like you said, you want to see concerts, movies, that
Exactly.
can work.
You don't have to be. I mean, think of the difficulty of getting to a concert. If you have a disability, you're on a wheelchair. You have difficulty walking. You're standing at a concert.
Yeah.
I mean, people who obviously have two working legs. Yeah, it's a pain and hurtful for us. For someone who can't stand, that's even worse. VR is this answer. I just don't know why they're not.
This is like the one time where I'd be like, look at the futuristic movies, the shows we've had with VR. Kind of get a gist on that or influence.
Man, this is gonna sound silly, but it's also a fact. If porn hasn't helped get this already,
that was mostly in Japan.
Right.
Yes.
getting it, getting it out. Fuck. If they haven't, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
If they have,
get it out there.
Get it out there. Yeah. Whip it out, basically. And that's out there.
Japan mostly.
You could tell that there is something hard weighing it in. I can't help myself.
Yeah, you can.
No. I'm not trying to.
He wants to be punny. That's why.
There's something that, and that thing is price. I still think that. I mean, VR sounds like a great idea, but $700 for a VR headset. I don't matter how good it is. You gotta be.
If $300 is still too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Yeah. Big Shadow.
So, my last piece is that I don't know if you guys remember when I was talking about the Stream Link.
The Steam Link, yeah.
Yeah, the Stream Link. Yes, the Steam Link. But Valve, last week the app came out on Apple with an iOS version nowhere to be found. Remember, it was announced that it would be on iOS as well.
It did.
So, Apple approved of it early in the month, but apparently they had a little tech issue with the headphone jacks.
What? Where are you getting your source?
I'm joking.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait a minute.
So,
No, I believe it. Fuck that.
I wish it was that.
Fucking
actually.
Apple shit. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So then, they approved it earlier in the month, and then now they're like, "Yeah, we don't want it."
That's fucked up.
That is.
Yeah, it is.
I was like,
Man,
fuck this shit.
Apple,
I'm out.
you're making it so difficult to defend you, man. As the last iPhone fanboy here,
Yeah. So it seemed that they
you're
were
making it so difficult to be when you become such a bitch. That was awesome to have the idea. Basically, you didn't need a Steam Link, which is usually either $50 or $6, basically. Because I mean, they will give it away at this point. I think I have one that I think I've offered it to you multiple times. You're like,
Yes.
no thanks,
I'm good. I'm good, fam. I'm good.
Yeah.
But be able to play the games on your phone and probably put your have the support for the game pads and all that. That sounded sweet, but of course, like Shadow said, Apple is citing business conflict.
Yep.
And
guidelines. So
after they have
feel like
approved it already, they
feel like it's
already.
gonna mess with their, the whole security stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
But I didn't hear about the security. I think I heard.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's more that because it's a streaming service. At the end of the day, it's just another app that streams, and there are like gajillion of them, out there. So I think when they say business reasons, I think they're more like, well, we sell games. We don't want another game store. And which is such bullshit, man. Because it's not even on the same.
They just want to keep it closed and
a closed
tight-knit.
network, just like they love to have.
I'm telling you, every time I am very envious. Every time I see, and I have tried it twice already. Every time I see an Android phone, they look freaking gorgeous and all the features. If they only had the software packed down, the way I like the software on Apple, because that's the only thing that's holding me is the software on Apple. The hardware is nothing to talk about.
The simplicity of it.
The buttery
joking.
smoothness. I hear you here, but the problem with Androids is because it's an open thing and there's so many multiple versions of it. It's never only the high end ones will obviously run significantly longer than the other ones.
It's the PC of phones, basically.
Correct. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
And iOS is the Apple of phones, obviously. That's the.
So true.
Yeah. Quite literally.
Apple, get your shit together before I dump you again.
Just to come back in a year.
Third time, and just to come back a year, I bought the iPhone 11.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Boy. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our hot topic of the week. Go right into our hot topic of the week.
Hot topic of the week.
Hot topic.
Love it.
I think that should go first, though.
You know what?
That should be
first.
the jingle.
Next time, we're going to go ladies first here, guys.
Hot topic of the week.
Hot topic, guys, for episode 109 is simple. The end of single-player games.
No.
Is it possible? Is it happen? Is it already upon us?
I was going to say the potential end.
Potential end. Correct. To be fair, well, we'll get into that.
To be fair, let's get started.
Let's get started. So first off, obviously with fucking God of War.
Yeah.
It's like how can you talk
topic
about
over.
Yeah. How
can you talk about, and then you go last year and you have freaking Horizon, and then you go, I mean, there are great, and then look at God bless Bethesda, dude. I mean, I freaking boycotted their ass.
Words that I never thought I would hear coming out of his mouth.
I know.
You hear them first.
I am here. This is an exclusive GG, guys. Okay.
Let's hope we don't say that about EA though.
You know what? If they turn shit around, I will welcome back with it. I don't see it happening, but I will welcome them back. No, Bethesda. Let's give it to them. Doom,
fucking Doom.
The Wolfenstein series. These are all quality first of single player games.
Yeah.
The
Doom have multiplayer,
Prey,
but nobody care about it.
Yeah, but and let me tell you, they fucking regret that shit.
It wasn't that great.
Let's be real.
Snap map though.
Exactly.
That was amazing.
That was
an amazing technology.
Okay.
That was a Little Big Planet of Doom.
Little Big Planet of Doom.
No,
I fucking love it. I want to see that. I want to see that level in Little Big Planet 3. The Doom level. That's what I want to see.
Oh well, the Doom guy is a Little Big Planet. Somebody did.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
No, but Sony actually did a
little Sackboy. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I want to say yes, but now I'm not sure.
They did it with Killzone.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think I've seen it with Doom yet.
No, yeah, I think I'm getting it confused with
playable.
They had a Hellgas.
The collecting things.
The pop ones.
Yeah, that little collecting thing that you grab, and it'll be like a little Doom guy, and it's like, hey, that looks like Sackboy. Not at all. Anyway,
so yes, back to so Bethesda has completely turned themselves around as far as I'm concerned, and they say Wolfenstein. Yeah, Prey.
Right.
They did Dishonored series.
Yeah.
These are all high quality single player games. That said,
Follow.
They don't. Yes, on all the Fallout series. That said, they don't. They don't. I mean, yes, they're Fallout. Obviously, they make a shit ton of money on Fallout.
Yeah.
The other games maybe not so much. Yeah, and the Elder Scrolls. Yeah. So the point of this topic is to point out a little something I found on the internet. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. This comes from trueachievements.com. Perhaps you've seen this article or heard of it, maybe.
I know about trueachievements.com.
All right. They had an exclusive. Stats show how rarely game campaigns are ever played. Have you seen this article?
How many like experiments that they did on this?
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked.
That is a small number.
We're going with big titles here. As you know, the newest Call of Duty Black Ops 4, is not going to include a single-player campaign.
Shocking.
And while there are stories that there was a single-player campaign and they just screwed the pooch and it's not ready in time,
that's what my sources
tell me. It will be
tell
added
me.
later as DLC.
Correct. There are other sources say that. They themselves claim that this was the original intent and all this stuff and all.
My sources tell me that that this was actually a single player that wasn't coming together very well, and it wasn't gonna meet the deadline of October. And this is a one-off thing, and the next Call of Duty of next year will go back and have.
That's already. That's been already in 2 years.
I think they should do a Ubisoft approach and take a year off, like they do with Assassin's Creed.
Oh, Activision will never. I agree.
No, they
should,
not,
but yeah,
if they want a better quality game, they should do that.
So, True Achievement, they use data based on their site. Now, keep in mind, this is segmented in the fact that if you know what True Achievements are, they're basically looking at the Xbox community. You know what I mean? So this is just one side of the pool, guys.
That's explained.
Yeah, I know,
because all the single players that you want to play is on Sony right now and Nintendo. So suck it, True Achievement, and suck it, True Achievement again.
Just
you can suck my balls because single player is here to stay, and your data is so skewed just because there aren't any Xbox games.
This also means that Xbox needs some exclusive single player games.
Here's what I laugh about is that should I say this data? Let me just go into data. Basically, there is what they call an SPA. In this particular SPA is called Story Participation Average. A true freaking stat, guys. Like we're in freaking sports. Okay, let me let you know. So we have, of course, we're going with the major.
What is the average handle time of each gamer?
Average handle time. If we go back as the highest, if we go back to Call of Duty 3, was about 37% story participation.
They're looking at Call of Duty for data.
This is this particular line because they're talking about Call of Duty games.
Oh, okay.
Black Ops 3 was a horrible 4%.
That's what people realize by Call of Duty 2.
Remind me, because I played the third one and just oh my goodness.
By Call of Duty 2, they realized this story is bullshit. Actually, they fucked up the good story that they have on Call of Duty 1. I don't want to play this shit. Let me just play with my friends.
True.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that can also go with the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 story, which I understand wasn't very good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh my goodness.
More recently, Call of Duty World War II last year, 29% participation of the single player campaign.
I feel like that's a good number.
Sure, why not? If you're into baseball and this is a batting average, yeah, why not?
29%? You're telling me 29%?
Yeah. And in baseball, that's wonderful.
No. I'm talking about on Call of Duty World War II. World War II?
Yes.
For cotheads, I think that's amazing.
For people who claim to be interested, it goes like, oh man, they're going back to World War II. I'm in. I mean, 29% of them even participated. This is not completing. But I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. Let me also let you know that these numbers are those who are even started based on achievements, even started the campaign. The ones who completed the campaign, and let's be real, Call of Duty campaigns are not fucking long.
Not really.
Are literally half these numbers. So if we're already at 4% with Black Ops, okay, we're at a measly 2 maybe. They're so small at this point that we don't even have a fraction for it. How about that?
Why don't they do these statistics on people who play
single player?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that.
Right?
Are you leaving him? Are you guys in cahoots?
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's just trying to make sure he got all his facts right.
So,
not giving us fake news.
I'm going to name a couple, and you just throw a number out there. What you think it can possibly be? Story participation average, guys. Mass Effect, the first one for the record.
85%.
Michelle.
About 70.
Wrong on both counts. We are at 50%. And that is on the high side when it comes to this fucking list.
Shit, wow.
Okay. I'll go to another one. Let's say Fallout. The Fallout series.
No, that's true. Because when you consider it, not all people that play games
Fallout's
have the time to
mostly
beat
sandbox,
them.
too.
Okay, so yeah, this is true. And you know what? You're right. Fallout's also a long game, so it's Mass Effect. So let's go with Halo. The Halo single
The
player.
Halos, 60%.
Miss Shadow.
30.
Closer than him. 25%.
Fuck!
Because the
On
reason
the
why
Halos?
I know
Yes.
is that I know a lot of people didn't play those games.
This is based on the series, for the record. Average of the series, not Halo 1. We're talking about average of the series. You know what?
Especially since 5 was
Let's
garbage.
do this right. Let's do this right. The Arkham series.
The Arkham series?
Yes, Batman Arkham series. What do you think the participation?
30%.
Okay,
65.
close. Mister, you undershot a lose. 33%.
33%. Look,
33%, and this is a single player only game.
I can see it though. I can see it because here's it. Okay, so what I'm reading, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Please do. What I'm hearing is single player doesn't matter because people are not completing their stories all the way to the end. Is that what it's saying?
No.
Okay. Then what are they
The
saying?
point of the article, and you know what? I'm going to tag it on the hot topic in Facebook. The point of the article is to show that, and this is the problem with this is that over time, the number is going down. It's not going back up, and there are more and more gamers. Because we all know every year we have more and more gamers growing into the games, and we're obviously we're raised in it, and that number is still declining. So the question is, basically this leads us to believe, what is the future for single player? If less and less people are even starting it, fewer are even finishing it. While I agree that most likely Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, did obviously had plans for a single player, and it didn't come through. Think about how much money they save by not paying Kevin Spacey, for instance, to come in and do a thing.
That's their problem. They don't have to do that shit.
I know this is true,
But they set themselves up for it, so now they have to.
Correct. This is true. There's an expectation at this point. But let's say they pay, not Kevin Spacey
North.
actors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not you go back to Nolan North or the other guys. The point is, you don't have to pay these guys to do this big spectacle single players. They save enough money. The numbers in the end, if Black Ops 4 makes this, there's it's like no difference from last year's Black Ops 4. This doesn't have a single player. Do you not think that the next that they're going to say, why bother? Why spend the money?
Oh yeah, and that's the way I see it is we are at a risk where single player games, they're not going to go away. Period.
No,
End of story.
Of course not.
But they could become a niche thing.
Correct.
And I don't think I have a problem with that because at the end of the day, it's not like I'm consuming every single player game that comes out. I'll be okay with, hey, you're doing the single player game thing that is not very popular. Then damn, it must be really good then because you're taking the risk. So I'll be okay. I'll be okay with that. But I do realize that the environment that we live in right now is more games as services. Playing with your buddies, which it could be another.
It's still multiplayer.
It could be another thing that. I don't doesn't call my attention in particular, but I don't dislike it outright. Or it could move towards this competitive items. Like. It used to be Dota before, or League of Legends. Now it's Fortnite, and even more so Fortnite because Fortnite is available
Overwatch.
Everywhere.
True.
There was Overwatch, of course.
But those are all multiplayer games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna have my Gears of War, for example, or my
They do Gears of War
Uncharted.
esports.
No, I know.
Yeah.
And
no, but I'm
yeah.
saying it's like it'll have that single player, aspect of it.
What I'm trying to say is, let's say
more on campaign and their multiplayer.
That's true. The multiplayer was tacked on that one, but to be fair, the multiplayer was actually pretty well designed. It wasn't like a shit multiplayer.
No.
And Last of Us was another one where that was actually a very good multiplayer.
Yeah.
But that's not why people go in there.
No. I will see the numbers skew on that one. It's like the participation on.
I would love to. Unfortunately, this is true achievements, and but I would love to see that.
Who the fuck can read trophy data? I mean, what the fuck is a trophy to begin with?
Especially since a lot of people don't hunt for achievements, and I think a reason why is that if you've noticed, esports has been around forever, for as long as you can do that, multiplayer stuff, but since it's become a trend, pretty much, and everyone loves to follow trends. So now in the past year or two, you've been seeing esports blow up, especially with Fortnite. PUBG, come on, Battle Royale wasn't even much of a thought before with DayZ, and now it's blown up.
It's funny you should mention Fortnite. I wanted to bring up another number here, and I still, in the end, I don't know how we can consider. I don't know how you consider Fortnite.
I just feel like
Fortnite
it's a big trend that
is still
wants
a multiplayer game.
It is,
okay,
of course.
I
don't
what
think
other thing would it be?
I'm just saying.
What would it be then?
I'm just throwing it out there because you mentioned it before, and I'm like, those are still multiplayer. So. This last month in April, this is directly from gamesindustry.biz. Fortnite Battle Royale became the largest free-to-play console game of all time in terms of revenue.
Even PUBG struggling now.
Oh, yeah. For April, Fortnite smashed its own records. Okay.
Yep.
It made $296 million across PC, mobile, and console.
Especially with the crossplay.
Correct.
That
is
crazy.
Ridiculous. So the reason I bring this up on this same article, by the way, they also mention information for God of War, which came out in April as well. It shows that the Superdata's April Digital Games Report show console spending up an impressive 44% thanks to Fortnite and God of War. The latter sold an estimated 2.1 million units. 2.1 million units. Okay.
Now
in the first month. Now that's the month. That's literally launch month. Okay. We all know that starts to go down as time goes by because it's a single player game. And of course, it set the record for fastest selling PS4 exclusive of all time. By the way, we did say before, this is PS4 exclusive. It's actually passed. It's the fastest selling of all time, meaning faster than freaking San Andreas from PS2.
Wow.
Yes.
Or Monster.
So yes, definitely. So my point is to say that 2.1 million is great, man. Sony, hats off to you, Sony Santa Monica. Great stuff. That is a drop in the bucket to the other one, which is Fortnite.
True.
At $296 million dollars. By the way, these are all money amounts.
Yeah.
That's gotta call attention. This is why, while I don't like EA, you know what I'm saying. As a business, I know a business is going to be like, hey, we got to get on the next hottest thing. This is why they're doing stuff like this. And frankly, if the next, Battlefield 5 comes out and it people buy it and suddenly they sweep under the carpet what happened with Battlefront, and they're throwing the microtransactions at this, and it has a 2-hour campaign and nobody gives a shit. And before you know it, Battlefield 6 may not have a campaign either. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point?
Wasn't Battlefield 1 the story? Wasn't it only like a couple hours?
It was, yeah. It was vignettes. And by the way, we didn't mention that on the thing. That's what they're doing with the Battlefield 5. Yeah.
And fun fact, Battlefield started as a multiplayer only.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a multiplayer
Remember,
only game.
Bad
so
Company?
it wouldn't be hard for them to go right back to that.
No, again, Bad Company went into the single player, and that was the best single player that they've ever had.
What about co-op single player?
That's co-op is not single player.
I know.
You're playing with somebody else. Yeah, that's
but
when you start, what you're
the
saying,
story oriented.
You still have a craft the story, and that's what I'm saying. And you know what? Let these companies do. For the beauty of this is that we are all gonna have the Spice Girls or Lady Gagas or the mainstream, things, and the Justin Biebers of the world making money, and racking millions and whatever. But there's always gonna be the artists that might not make millions, but you recognize them as, they are the masters of their craft. That's exactly what's that's the same thing with look at Hollywood. Everything is a Hollywood blockbuster thing that follows almost an exact formula. And every now and then there is that little, the little movie that's the one that sticks to you, because that's the one that speaks to you because of its uniqueness and its difference, Same thing with games. Now, everybody's going to pursue, everybody and their mother, like contrary to my prediction of E3, everybody's going to go towards Battle Royale, and their mothers, they're all going to do it. That's fine. Let them have it. Let them saturate the market. Let them have their fun. I'm still going to go towards the smaller guys or the studios. They could be big studios, like, because fucking Santa Monica is not a small studio, but I'm still gonna support that because that's my style of gameplay, and it won't go away. It will diminish, yes, no doubt. All these companies are trying to diverge, like you said, their businesses, and the EAs of the world are gonna follow whatever is the trend, and if that trend is Justin Bieber Battle Royale, then that's what I'm going to make.
Yeah, I would argue it's not just EA, because look at this year.
You understand what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yes, I got you.
Everyone wants to follow the trends.
I like your analogy there. It's very good. I would argue though, it's not just third party companies. I think the problem that I'm not hating on Microsoft. I'm just pointing out what I think this data has skewed their thought behind what is. Look at their two main games for this year: Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, all multiplayer, service type games, and that's it. That's all they have. You know what I mean? They don't really. I don't know of anything else. I'm hoping that they're going to have a good E3 this year. I think this data seriously skewed them, but at the same time, they're still doing well. You know what I'm saying? Microsoft isn't like suffering. The Xbox ecosystem is still doing well. I think what this particular data on True Achievements proves is that the Xbox sole gamer who plays on Xbox only versus the PlayStation only gamer, they're two different gamers. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But they obviously want two different things. And I think that above all is the reason why there's a split there. And it's okay to have the splits. They're servicing two different type of gamers, and that's just it is. This is what it is. That's what mobile company, they're servicing the mobile gamer. You have your handheld, Nintendo, they're servicing your handheld market. You know what I mean? So you have this type of thing, and I think this really highlights the differences between the people who are buying into those consoles. But yeah, I think it's fairly interesting. And while I agree that yes, there's always going to be a company that does it, I fear that eventually we're not going to see the big epic single player games. I love the small single player games. Some of my favorite games are only 2 hours long. They're not very. You can tell, like what's the Senua's Sacrifice, Hellblade. All right, $30 game, beautiful looking game, 6 hours or so long. Great. I don't know if that's I don't know how sustainable that is. Especially when it's getting, whether you believe it or not, it's getting more and more expensive to do this stuff because capitalism, that's just how it works. So I don't know. I don't know if it's sustainable. This is why I credit Bethesda in the sense that, and there's another article which I will also tag on there. It's this weird article where this guy says, I love how weird Bethesda is. You know what I mean? They are private. They're a private company. ZeniMax, they're all private. There's no the big difference with them in EA is EA has to
shareholders.
Yeah, they're shareholders that they'd be beholden to, not Bethesda. So they can take chances. They can come out with Rage 2 when no one was asking for a Rage 2. You know what I mean? So they have that ability to do so. And I think what we need to see more of is some of these companies get bigger. like the one who did I can't think of the name. The one who did Hellblade, get bigger a little bit. And you know what? Stay private.
Team Ninja, I think. Is
The
it Team Ninja?
no, that's not Team Ninja. It's is it Team Ninja?
Yeah, I think it's Team Ninja.
Maybe it is Team Ninja. I think she's right. For Hellblade.
Hellblade, no, Hellblade
Give me a
is
second.
yeah,
I think
Hellblade is not Team Ninja because Ninja is the Ninja Gaiden people.
Yeah,
That's
that's Ninja.
Ninja Theory. My bad.
Ninja Theory.
That's
Close
it.
enough.
Yeah.
It was another ninja.
It was another ninja.
Shinobi.
A ninja of another
Clan.
name. Yeah, clan.
And they did, Heavenly Sword.
Yes. So, I don't know. I think it's an interesting thing. Obviously, I don't want single player to go, and I also don't think it's ever going to go away. But I do agree with your Dream Twisters comment there that it can be like any other genre where it doesn't go away, but it does fall to the wayside, and now you only have indie titles that are making single player games because they're the ones who are keeping little things alive like that.
Yeah.
It's literally like the fight between indie and AAA games again.
Yeah, but then the single player big titles they fall into the
And they can be a renaissance at some point also, just like
True.
it's time to
just like fighting games came back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also we are. I mean, we're talking about the Western market for the most part, and I feel like there's companies in Asia that doesn't necessarily have to follow the same trends because their audience they have very different tastes, so who knows? It's not a matter of saying, oh, single player is gonna die, eventually all games are gonna be multiplayer, because that's a very narrow-minded way of thinking,
I agree.
So what I think though kind of reminds me of how how oversaturated things can get. Like with MMOs, MOBAs when they got oversaturated with all these, people you start to hear them slowly die, and then people stick to their main ones like Dota, League of Legends, and WoW,
the standouts,
and Terra. I feel like that's gonna happen now with multiplayer games. Even Overwatch is dying little by little. You can see it.
The numbers are going down. Yeah. Actually,
that's what's gonna happen now. Once it's
no, you're fine.
Once oversaturation keeps happening and more come on, Boss Key went out of business because they tried doing that, and then I feel it's gonna happen to PUBG eventually. It's gonna happen to Fortnite. They're gonna die down a bit, and then
have to come back with something.
Something else will come up.
Yeah. In that article, which again I'll put up on the thing, they also mentioned that the same month of April marked the first time that GTA 5 did not lead the after a consecutive 12 months as the number one. So even the big dogs will eventually come back down.
I think this is also that they're coming out with another GTA anyway.
Well, that eventually. And what's
Red Dead.
Red Dead? Yeah, Red Dead.
Quick, release Red Dead.
Yeah, let's get that going. But yeah, so any other final thoughts on the single player?
I mean, for the most part, it had been said already. The single player is not going away, and I don't have any problem with it getting distilled. And this is my life as an adult. I don't have a lot of time to play a lot of games as I used to, and there are so many games that even if it reduces, I think we still have a plethora of games to
a myriad
play.
Of games.
Jefe, what is a plethora?
I mean, all I'm gonna say is bring on the single player.
It's coming. Yeah, it's not going away.
Honestly, I love me a good story.
Bring it from the indies. All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of a great episode. The real, because I was called out for not mentioning this. The real episode 109. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, please go to goodgame.tech and join the conversation there. Please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with all your friends. Even some people who are not your friends, just let them know, yeah, we're good people.
Yeah. Just bring them on.
Just bring them on.
If you don't like them, just bring them on. We'll roast them here.
Yeah,
flyers
we'll do our best to win them over.
Yeah, hey. We have a Jason.
We do have a Jason, yes. And everybody loves Jason.
Yeah,
so.
Everybody loves Jason. Yeah, that's the topic. That's the next hot topic of the week.
Yeah, that's right.
The motto.
That's the yes.
That's the slogan, yeah.
Well, this is Arnaldo, a.k.a. Mad Dog, signing off for this week. Mr. Santos.
You guys smell that?
Smell what?
It smells like E3.
Yeah.
It's coming right around the corner.
Smells
It
like
is,
roses.
and we have
And
full
possibly
coverage.
disappointment.
And possibly disappointment.
Ooh.
I don't know, man. I am excited, but a little disappointed also. And I hate the fact that I already know what Sony has to bring. And it's like, oh, yeah, it's going to look awesome. But is that it? So I'm hoping for a surprise.
A surprise.
And Microsoft is like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know what the hell you guys are going to do.
And we have a Devolver Digital that's hold my beer again.
So loving
So
that.
let's just keep a
you know what? That's the
an
highlight.
open head.
Sure.
You know.
The PC gaming, though.
Oh, my God.
That we are never going to watch again.
We will watch it so we can see what the next video card will be for everybody.
What is the next video
that's
card,
how,
Ronaldo?
you know,
I
that's how
told
we
you it's
learned
the
about
GTX
lawbreakers.
5.872.
Something.
Yeah.
That's literally how we learned
From
about
what brand?
lawbreakers.
From one brand?
I don't know.
I thought you said it was the Excel PowerPoint.
Oh, the PowerPoint.
Yes.
You're right. You're right. I think I had an article about that too. Yeah.
So, in short, let's keep an open mind.
Definitely. I
And
will
an open
definitely.
heart.
I'll definitely keep
Expect the unexpected.
the next.
Let's have a good show this year.
Microsoft Word conference. All right, guys. So see you next week.
GG! GG every day.